Hello, welcome back to another episode of Compact Claustrophobia. How are you guys doing? I'm doing pretty good myself, actually. Thanks for asking. So I'm just going to get right into it. On the last episode, we made some pretty good progress into the quest book. We were able to get a giant compact machine going, and we even set up some automation for the compact machine walls so that we can make the rest of them pretty easily. Right now, the next step is to continue on and work right away into the maximum compact machine. As a reminder, needs 6 glitched giant machines. The first one we crafted is already turned into a glitch machine. It's pretty funny to think about because we're just going straight into it. And we actually crafted the rest of these overnight. I did say last episode that I was going to set these up manually, but I can actually use the copy-paste gadget to help me out. But the first step is to actually build the first one, and then we'll copy and paste the rest of them, just to make my life a little easier. And if there's any advice I have to give about playing any mod pack, really, is that there's always something you can do to improve your quality of life. So for example, the copy paste gadget like this is gonna help me out a lot. And ender pearl. Yeah. And I forgot to copy it. Oops, I'll just do it for the next one. There was another thing that I mentioned last episode, I remember. Crafting a single one of these large machines was pretty difficult. And then by the end of last episode, I was able to get like almost 32 of these. So we're definitely making progress. Okay, that's the first one. Ready? And then we'll build another one and actually copy paste it. Don't forget. I don't know what it means when it says number of tile entities not copied. I'm going to assume it works though. And we'll check for the next one. Let's just move it to where it should be, right there. So now if I aim at the center block, it should paste it. And then I can also shift right click this chest to bound it to this inventory. So if all the stuff is there, I should be able to just paste it. There we go. And then throw a pearl. It didn't work. Why not? Did I miss a block or something? Oh, you know what? I don't think it likes this. That must have been what that message was saying. One of the tile entities was not pasted, I guess. It must be that machine casing. That's fine. Oh, check that out. I think I found a little bug, a feature. I don't really know, but whenever I open up Better Questing, it actually slows down the crafting in the background. So you can see how long it's like taking to shrink. But if I leave it, it actually runs a little faster. That's pretty interesting. Check it out. So you'll see how fast it's spinning right now, right? And if I open the Better Questing, look how slow it is. I was looking through the quest, and I noticed that it was kind of taking forever in the background. Alright, confirmed. Better questing bugged. That's fine. I really like this questing mod. Probably my favorite one out of all of them. And there we go. Just like that. Rest in peace, 30 large compact machines. You guys are so expensive. But the good thing is that once we actually get the maximum compact machine, we can use it to set up 5x5x5 crafts. And then getting more of these maximum compact machines is going to be a little cheaper, where all we need is just one now. Pretty good. But the next step is to throw these back in our storage and then immediately cover them in poop. Give me 5 glitched ones. And that happens over here. Yeah, over here. So this is another thing we set up yesterday. We finally automated the pressure poop injector. And pretty much all it does is send the items over here. We also have a way for it to get the sewage. And then we have a normal energy input hatch because the recipe does require 512 Fe per tick, which this can support just fine. And then actually crafting the maximum compact machine is not that much of a difference from the giant compact machine. All the other ones, you had to do a lot of infrastructure to get to this point. For example, the giant compact machine needs the miniaturization, right? That's completely different than what the large machine needs, which is these normal machine pieces, which is an ingot former, and so on. Well, you can make these cheaper. I didn't know. Is that the case for all of them? Oh, no. You know how cheap this would have been if I realized that? Well, now we know at least. This is why you got to go through all your recipes, because sometimes you get things like that where you just miss. Better now than never, right? Yeah, look at this. I can actually just skip the crafting of all the other tiers by using the 5x5s. And it's just compact machine walls, which we already have automated. So this is going to be really cheap from now on. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Ender pearl. Oh, boy. Here we go. Maximum compact machine. Oh, I'm so excited. It's so slow. Hurry up. And we have the best compact machine around. Oh yeah. This is such a big deal to me because whenever I'm like approaching the end of a mod pack, I feel like a burst of energy or motivation. I don't really know what it is, but it's just knowing that I'm getting pretty close to the end. It's giving me like a boost to play even more. Anyways, the next couple of quests are going to be like little random things to take care of because yeah, the High Impact Compactor quest is unlocked, but in order to get here, we still need some stuff. We should have all of this stuff ready for the superconducting electromagnet. I just need to actually craft it. Everything else here looks like it's going to be just fine, but what I don't have are slime balls. But luckily for us, now that we have a maximum compact machine, we can just do this quest over here. So what I'm going to do is pretty much just tear down everything in here and put it in the new box. And then we break this guy. I no longer need one. Let me double check. Yeah, there's nothing in there. So I no longer need this one, if you really think about it. Because we have that guy now. Which means get cooked. And then we go here. Oh boy, 13 by 13 by 13. The most amount of space we've had in this mod pack ever. Oh yeah, it's a lot of space. Love it. I'm pretty sure with how these work, you can actually do 3x3 recipes. I'm not sure about anywhere or if it just demands it in the middle. I don't really know, but that should be fine. Let's start worrying about like some of these recipe changes that we have to do. And I think I'll start off with by removing every single compact machine recipe. And if I need to actually craft one, I'll just adjust it. But it looks like we don't actually need to craft any more of the smaller tier ones. We just start with large. Because if I look at the recipe for the maximum, we need just one giant machine, which needs 6 large machines. And this one can be built with just compact machine walls. Once we get diamonds after we get the high impact compactor going, we don't actually need to craft any more large ones either. But we still need to for now. I'm going to leave those patterns for now. I don't really need another compact machine right now. What I do need to work on is this. I'm going to keep going until I get slime, which is going to unlock some of the stuff over here. If you make a large puppet and really squeeze it, it might come alive. Who'd have thought? Chicken. I think what I can do is just make patterns for this stuff. I don't even know why you would need a chicken. Oh, you know what? I think it's because cows spawn egg. Yeah, it wants an actual egg. So we have to grow 1 chicken to lay 1 egg. So this one is pretty much just going to need a bunch of wool. And we need black, orange, and red. So I don't think this is too bad. We may have to take a look at some of this pigment stuff. For example, rose red is with beets. I know we have beet seeds somewhere. Yeah, so I can just grow this. Give me beetroot. Okay, that's red accounted for. And then orange is red and yellow. I know I've made a bunch of these by accident, so there you go. That's rock wool. No. I'm looking for black regular wool. Yeah, this stuff, which is either ink sacs, which I don't think we can get, or we can just throw charcoal into water. I can't spell correctly. I remember talking about it in one of the earlier episodes when I got my new mic stand, and I was so happy that no longer is it covering half of my screen. But the downside is that now it's covering my keyboard. So I'm having to memorize the keyboard now, which isn't a bad thing, right? I should probably be doing that already. But it's just funny to think about. Okay, what about now? Yeah, we should be good now. And there it is. So how to build this thing? I don't think there's really an easy way to do this. Oh, I did not know that. You can hold shift to see the inside of it. That's pretty helpful, actually. So it looks like the blocks on the inside are empty space, at least. Man, I'm not very good at pixel art. Why are you trying to make me do this? That's okay. It's part of the fun. The heck? White padded compact machine. Oh, you know what? There's a quest a long time ago that I completely ignored somewhere. I think it's right here. Padded cell. Yeah. Oh, the checkmark test. Checkmark quest. Tired of hurting your hands on the walls and getting random drops all the time? Try padding the cell with some wool. If you dislike the decor, you can always remove it again with some shears. Do wire cutters work? They don't. I think I have to make some shears. Hang on. Yeah, this is probably a feature that would have been pretty helpful throughout the pack. So throughout the playthrough, you probably have seen me punching the ground and accidentally just picking up some random garbage. Yeah, this would have helped out with that a lot, but I just didn't really bother. But anyways, to actually put it, I think I just have to shift right click. Yeah. I don't know if I've talked about it before, but I'm actually not very good at like remembering patterns. So sometimes it takes me a little bit to do stuff like this. Does that look like a chicken? That looks like a chicken to me. I'll stick with it. Why do I have 6 more blocks? I'm scared. Oh, you know what? I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's too short. it's supposed it's supposed to be 5 blocks tall. Okay, so right there, right? I think I'm gonna get some ladders to climb up and down. And I think that is enough blocks. Yeah. Okay. Ouch. Oh, I can eat my beetroot now. Ooh, 2 hearts. Thank you. Don't mind if I do. Okay. Got your orange beak. Like that, right? Yeah, sure. And then you have your... What do you call this? The wobble? Gobble? I got no idea. Oh, look at that. Perfection. And you guys thought I didn't know how to build pixel art, but there you go. Throw it. Give us chicken. I actually ate some chicken tenders for dinner today. Pretty good stuff. And I also had like a nice cup of tea before I started. But anyways, we have a chicken. I can leave it here, but chances are I'm going to get frustrated with the noises they make. I don't really know where a good place is. The animals will absolutely die if I leave them in here, though. I think I'll leave them here in my passive box, semi-passive box right there. Look at that, our first chicken. Okay, so the next quest here wants us to pick up an egg. Is there a way I can encourage chickens to lay eggs? I don't know, can I give it bone meal or something? I don't think it works like that. But I guess while it's trying to lay an egg, oh, you know what? What I can do is give it a accumulator. Okay, you can have a accumulator now, and please lay an egg. Don't get too close to the nullifier. I don't want you to get deleted. I guess while we're waiting, I'll continue with the recipe for the spawn cow. I can just do this, I think. Yeah, setting up the recipes for this stuff shouldn't be too bad, because I think gray dye is relatively easy. It's just, yeah, we have all of that stuff already. Brown wool is cocoa beans. I think this is what we have to make because I don't think there's any actual way to make brown pigment that I can see. No. So we're going to have to get some cocoa beans. You can sift it in sand since when? I don't know if this is an intended recipe because the questline tells us to get it from jungle trees, which is I think something I would rather do because we already have bonsai jungle sapling. And then I can mass produce the jungle saplings using phytogenic insulator if I wanted to. We'll come back to it. Let me just add in all of the recipes now. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're just missing cocoa beans and egg. We'll go the jungle tree route because it is also a quest. There we go. So I don't quite know vanilla mechanics. Can't I just grow a jungle tree and bone meal it to get cocoa beans? Is that how it works? I don't think that works. I think what the quest book wants us to do is the actual sand sieving method, and then once we get one, we can mass produce it using jungle wood. So we'll try that. Sorry, beetroot, I'm gonna have to move you for a bit. But who remembers this old setup? I used to have a group of sieves just like this for like the longest time, and we have returned. So I'll do this just for a little bit to get one, and I don't think I need to. Oh, there it is actually. Coco Loco. But yeah, I don't think I need to automate it. I think this is the first time ever I've made cocoa beans. in any mod pack and even vanilla. I don't think I've ever had a need for cocoa beans until now. Need a stack of these, right? Oh, you can use a phytogenic insulator for this. I mean, I might as well, right? Water source, and then I might as well upgrade it as much as possible with a monoculture cycle augment and a couple of these reception coils to speed it up. Then we have a bunch of phyto grow from our passive box, and then there you go. Infinite cocoa beans. And then I guess I'll give it like a cache for now. This is going to be a very simple setup. I probably will fully automate this soon. I think we actually need cocoa beans for the nuclear craft stuff. Yeah, roasted cocoa beans, and then yeah, there's a whole process to this. And I think this is involved in making all of the s'more stuff we took a look at last time. So yeah, this stuff here. S'more sminget and more s'more double sminget. Yeah, we're probably going to have to mass produce cocoa beans. Even this is pretty good. So we're actually waiting for a stack, which we have plenty enough. Can I craft a cow egg? No, I'm still missing a regular egg. Sorry, you're taking a little bit too long. So I'm curious. I'm gonna look it up. Do chickens lay eggs when they're by themselves? I don't actually know. Let me look that up real quick. Good to know they don't actually need a partner. I think the issue was the distance we were from the chicken, because if you guys didn't know how compact machines work, I think I've talked about it before, but just to bring it up again, how the compact machines mod works is that you're not actually going into a separate dimension for each one. Every single compact machine generates a certain size box like this in a different part of the same dimension. So every single one of these is in the same dimension. So I think what was happening whenever I was in the home world, I was actually way too far from this chicken, so it just refused to lay eggs. But I was doing some editing while I was standing right here, and I got a couple eggs. So we should be able to craft the cow egg now. Yes, sweet. And here is everything. Oh boy, we're gonna have a we're gonna have to figure this out again, right? Oh, this one's even worse. All right. Is there really no way to stop this little UI thing? No, it would really help if I could stop it. I guess not. I think I'm just going to start off with oh no, I forgot about this. There. There. Oh, it's starting to come together. And then you got the little horn thingies right over here. I think I built it too short again. I swear I'm not doing this on purpose. Alright, fine. Who knew? Most difficult part of an expert pack, building pixel art. Horn guys go up there. Oh, yeah, okay, that looks a lot nicer. I think that should be it. I hope. Cow. Oh, it's going. Sweet. And there we go. Got a cow. Moo. Man, I love the quest names. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the cow into its own large compact machine. Really, there's no reason other than I probably will want to automate it, and it's a little tricky to move mobs around. I think the only way I can move mobs around are using these morbs, and they're not that expensive, but it takes a little bit to get here. Like soul sand, we don't have a really easy way to make soul sand, and there's a little bit of a setup to get there. And then slime balls, we're working on that. There's also rosin, which isn't too bad to get either, but it's also still a little bit of setup. So I'm just going to leave the cow here for now. If we need more cows, I probably should have saved the pattern, but you know what, it's fine. What's the next quest here? Not appreciated in Skyrim. I have played a lot of Skyrim, but it's been a couple of years, maybe even like, honestly, like 6 years. Or it's been a long time since I last played Skyrim. I remember it being really fun though, for sure. But I don't really remember the milk drinkers reference. Next up is slime block. Ew, gross. No you. Doesn't look like it matters what kind of mushroom. So I'm just going to, I guess, make this guy. Okay, good. We can use a phytogenic insulator for this. So I just need to make one of them. Okay, I cannot mess up this pattern. It is super simple. It's just 2 oak wood and the 5 wool on the top. I can remember this much. Never mind, I messed it up. Alright, go. Yeah, 1 mushroom. Thank you. Then I'll go ahead and use, I guess, this guy for a little bit to mass produce it. I just need a couple to start. And then I got a barrel over here, fill it with milk, and then right click. And we have slime. Sweet. You can turn that into slime balls, and then that is great. Block of emeralds. This is how emeralds are formed in nature, perhaps. I totally believe it. I don't know if I want to mass produce slime balls, but I'm going to just get a couple of blocks just in case. What the heck? I didn't know you spawned them. I'm not ready for a fight. A part of me wants to leave them all here, but I also need the slimes. I'm sorry, I had to do it to you. And let's just go ahead and feed the cow as well. Some gravel dust and dirt dust. You'll be okay here, right? Yeah, you'll be fine. Ouch. I won't, though. Okay, so now that we have slime balls, we should be ready to continue to the next step of actually crafting the high impact compactor. So I'm going to spend some time actually crafting the individual pieces. Let me take a screenshot of this because I refuse to go back and forth too often. If there's a real weird recipe, I'll bring it up, but for the most part, it's just going to be relatively simple things. For example, the first thing we'll need is a machine controller. I can always just make patterns for this. This isn't very expensive. Well, pretty quickly, we already have a couple of issues. For example, the superconducting electromagnets need a lot of sulfur For some reason, it's not or dictionary correctly. I don't even know what recipe needs this. I'll figure that out right now, but it looks like we also need some water and oxygen. I think oxygen has been an issue for like a very long time. I just haven't really dealt with it. I'm so confused. Where are my sieves? Wait. You guys are still here, right? What the heck? Yeah, they're still here. I'm getting a weird texture bug. I don't know what it is, but anyways, the oxygen has been an issue for a while because I think what's happening is that these conduits probably can't keep up, and so our oxygen isn't really building up at all. So one way I can solve this is using Ender IO, like the upgraded conduits, the Ender fluid conduits. These guys, not too bad, but they do need vibrant alloy. If I go down this list, is energetic alloy, which is glowstone through this energetic blend. So let's work on those conduits. And there we go. I always like trying to figure out how to get to this side of the passive box because every time I do, there's always something else that blocks my way. Like I can't get in through here anymore because of the signalum flux duct. And I think if I try to climb through here, we get pretty close. Oh, actually, I can make it. Okay, sweet. Okay, so this stuff, I'm going to take it out and use Ender fluid conduits instead. So these are pretty good because they allow more fluid extract and also instant transport, and they also allow multiple fluids. And I think that was our main issue. The fact that the pressurized ones could only fit one at a time. And that wasn't really working. And then these are pretty good too because they have a priority system. So I'll just tell this -5 so that it prioritizes the nullifier last so I don't accidentally delete some of this stuff. So you'll see here that the oxygen now depleted because it's getting used elsewhere. But let me also upgrade to resonant here. And this should be able to store, I don't actually know. Let me double check. 500,000. Probably not quite enough, but I can like break up the recipe. And I'm also going to tell this to stop exporting oxygen for now because we have a good amount of bliss powder. I think that's more than enough we need. So I'm going to tell this to not output oxygen for now until I build it up. Because I'm pretty sure this is the main thing that's actually consuming our oxygen is this setup over here. So there's something I wanted to address also. Something that is really weird to me. I don't really get it. Maybe someone who knows a little more nuclear craft can help me understand this. But you'll notice here how we have no more power in our ion battery, right? We set up redstone control for the fission reactor a long time ago. But for some reason, every time I rejoin the world, it just stops working. Like if I check here, it is working just fine, right? That redstone signal is telling my controller to jumpstart. But for some reason, these fission reactor ports are the buggy ones. I just have to, like, I guess update it or something. I don't really get it. Like all I did was just replace it and then rebuild the reactor. And it starts working. I don't get it. I have been doing this for the past couple of episodes pretty much since I set up that redstone control. I don't fully understand it. But it's such a small thing, right? I don't really mind. It actually still produces more power than our base can actually consume. Once every buffer fills up, this should start filling up. The other thing I should mention is our fusion reactors. Because if I check them, where are they? I don't know what it is. Something's going on with the textures. Let me reload the world. See if that fixes anything. Uh-oh. Nope. Alright, fine. Reload the pack. Okay, this looks good now. I don't know what happened. So this reminds me of another big lesson I've learned in my past 2 years as a test engineer. Is that most of the time, just turning it off and turning it back on is actually the answer. And it looks like that was the case over here. All I did was restart the pack and it came back. And I don't get it. Fission reactor broke again. Yeah, look at it. It just breaks. I don't get it. Anyways, that was a weird tangent. What I wanted to mention was we actually don't have any power coming out of this fusion core. We have like 44,000 RF per tick produced in this one, and then the other one is producing like 50,000 or something like that. We actually don't have any of that power going into our main base. It's just been hanging out separately. They are able to run nonstop, but what I'm thinking is to use the power that is generated from both of these fusion reactors to power the compactor. And the reason why is the superconducting electromagnets. Each one needs 1,000 RF per tick to stay active. Meaning, if there are 56, we need 56,000 RF per tick. We can't support that with our fission reactor, but our fusion reactors can take care of that just fine. And then another thing to talk about are the flux ducts. Like right now we've been using the Signalum ones just fine, and they've been carrying our playthrough for quite a while. But the next tier is resonant. But this can't even support that either. If we want to push like 50,000 RF per tick, we have to use the cryo-stabilized ones. These guys can transfer infinite amount of power. It's just something I wanted to bring up, and I'll set that up once we get the compactor going. And then another thing I might as well upgrade is our water tank. This way it can store 500,000. I don't think that's enough for the craft I'm trying to do. Let me double check how much I actually need. If I try to craft 56, is that gonna like it? No, so we won't have enough. So I think I'm gonna craft like half of it and then wait around a little bit to build this up. I can probably upgrade a whole bunch of things, right? Okay, so it's taking too long for me to actually get the water and the oxygen, so I'm gonna have to do something about it. For the water, I can actually use these infinite water sources. This makes a ton of water, like constantly. And then for us to get a little more oxygen, I'm actually going to hijack our little setup that we have in the first fusion reactor. I can put a tank here that's going to store a little bit of oxygen and then feed them conduits. We're actually already producing this stuff anyways. I do have to configure the output though, so that we output void excess, yes, and then output on top. There we go. So now we have a little bit of extra oxygen going in there, and then I'll give it a storage bus. So this guy will be on the west side, right there. And there we go. So now we have an extra tank of oxygen here. I can probably do the same for deuterium if I need extra, but we don't actually need extra, so I'm just going to ignore that for now. It's oxygen that we're really hurting for. Dense water source is now ready. I'm kind of curious how fast it actually puts water into this tank. I guess it takes a while for it to register, but that's a lot faster. Okay, what else are we missing for these superconducting electromagnets? It looks like we're missing some sulfur. This stuff is going to build up over time. But we do need to take care of sulfur, because right now, the main way we get sulfur is using sieves. But this isn't running all the time, and I don't like doing this because it's a very low chance. So there's multiple ways to do the sulfur part. We can either keep with the dust, we can use a rock crusher with a ton of granite, or if we check the pulverizer, we can just throw coal into here with a bunch of that. And I think this is what I want to do. So I'll go ahead and set up a little system to get us a bunch of sulfur here, because we have a lot of tiny coal. And this is something we get by accident from the dash picks. So this kind of builds up and we don't have anything to do with it. And I can even upgrade the pulverizer to resonant tier and give it a bunch of these auxiliary sieves so we get the most sulfur out of this. I think this is a good spot. Hear me out. So we're going to have an input on the left. It's going to output the byproduct, in our case, the sulfur on the right. And then the output is going to be the crushed coal that we get. So I'm going to feed the pulverizer with a regular exporter, feed it coal with the crafting upgrade so that our system is crafting it. And then the one on the right will be for sulfur, and then the one on top will be for pulverized coal. And then we'll just give the sulfur the external storage right there. And because we also have a ton of dust, to help out with it, I can also upgrade our detector here, which tells us to make 200 bone meal. I can say make 2,000 bone meal so that it starts sifting the dust, and we're going to get a little bit extra sulfur from this. Meaning what I could probably do for that DU plate recipe is tell this to ore dictionary so it also accepts the other sulfur. I think it'll work like that. Yeah, I think I'm still struggling on getting the resources for it. This might just be a waiting game, so I'm going to work on the other things in the meantime while we're waiting around for that stuff. And now that I think about it, I think I need another max-sized compact machine, because the build itself needs one in the middle of it. You can see it right here. Where am I actually going to put this monstrosity of a multi-block? In another maximum compact machine, so I actually need two of them. That's a little bit expensive. I can always use this one, but I don't think I should because I need this to make more. So I'm going to have to make a third one. That shouldn't be too bad, though. That's just... yeah, it looks like we can do it already. Go for it. You know what that means, right? I need to build 6 more large compact machines. Maybe I should set up an automation for it. Nah, I'm lazy. Let's just do this for now. Maybe I shouldn't say that I'm lazy. It's more I'm just stalling for time while we get the oxygen and the water to build up for the electromagnets to craft. And we have 2 more max-size compact machines. So if I check the quest now, we pretty much have everything ready except for the superconducting electromagnets. So really all we're missing is this sulfur. And yeah, the main reason why is because we already ran out of coal entirely. So we need another way of getting sulfur. So it looks like blaze rods is a good idea also. Probably want to throw them into a pulverizer because we can upgrade this to have a higher chance of secondary outputs. So I think I'm going to do that to get the rest of the sulfur. We don't really need that much. Let me double check. Yeah, we don't really need that much. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a couple stacks of steel rods, maybe 4 stacks, and then burn them all up, turn them into blaze rods, and then pulverize them for the extra sulfur that we're going to need. Oh, look at that. We have enough. And they have finished. Awesome. Something funny that I realized was if I check this recipe for the electromagnets, there's not enough fluid space. I know I said last time that this is going to be a future problem for future burning. Well, it is now a current problem for current burning. Yeah, if I check the current storage, we have about 131 buckets of hydrofluoric acid and then another 787 buckets trying to go back into storage. So we almost have 1,000 buckets of this stuff just piling up there. I don't think I actually need it. I did spend some time checking the recipes. I'm just going to avoid it for now, honestly. Anyways, this does mean that we have everything required to make the high impact compactor. But we are kind of running out of time for today, so I'm going to leave you with a teaser. Sorry about that. Next episode, we're absolutely going to be building the compactor, which means we're finally going to be able to make a bedrock pick and escape our prison. Just to check the recipes real quick, the high impact compactor is going to let us make some diamonds, and with these diamonds, we'll be making a diamond pick, which has a chance to drop these bedrock chunks. You can also see here that it's a very small chance, 0.069%. Nice. So I might have to make a lot of these pickaxes and set up some sort of automation for them just to get a better chance of these. But after I get a couple of them, we just need 9 to make 1 piece of bedrock. And we need 3 pieces of bedrock for the bedrock pick. Like, even though we're pretty close to the end, we're not quite there yet. We still have all those other challenges to complete, and I don't really know what they're going to ask of us. So I'm still not sure how many more episodes we're going to have, but we are approaching the end of the pack. And that's pretty cool. But we'll go ahead and continue in the next episode. For now, have a good day, take care, and I appreciate your time and support. Bye-bye.